而家仲嚟搞我？
想點啊？我想搞我哋啊！所有嘢唔關佢事。
Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is and this is my review of The Second Coming. Spring of 2014 has been a bit sparse in terms of new Hong Kong movies. Local film, understandably, doesn't want to compete with Hollywood blockbusters like Godzilla and Transformers, but luckily for me, there are still movies to watch. I went to the Newport Cinema in Mongkok to watch The Second Coming, a new horror film from Herman Yao. I often say that Herman Yao can work magic with a cast and a budget. He makes movies better than they should be. I'm not sure exactly how he does it, but he often creates films that have a lot more going for them than you might think. The Second Coming continues that tradition. It's certainly not an expensive looking movie, but the camera work in the opening shows a kind of technical maturity that's obviously rare enough that I noticed. It's nice to see an assured, experienced filmmaker at work. It's also nice to see a movie by one of the very few people on Earth who can get away with opening credits that make a sonogram seem like an ominous portrait of the devil. The film tells the story of a family with some issues. The conflict is centered around the teenage daughter, Lucy, played by Joey Leong. She's been acting strange lately, and starts acting even stranger. Strangelier? Her parents, played by Maggie Shiu and Kenny Wong, worry about her, though their concern is often at two very different levels. No family is perfect, and this family is no better. There are some pretty shocking secrets in that family album. Like I said, Herman Yao makes movies better than they ought to be. And that is certainly the case here. The story is both generic and occasionally illogical. It's generic because it hits all the requisite marks for horror movies that we've come to expect on this side of the world. But that's not a bad thing. The audience that I saw the film with really loved seeing Shiu as an exorcist fighting against an evil spirit. I did too. Why do you think I watched these movies? Even when the film is illogical, it's still entertaining. If you want to know where your daughter is in an emergency, don't waste time asking the dog. Some of the CGI in The Second Coming isn't very good, but there are two considerations I feel I should mention. One, I doubt that the budget was at the necessary level to pull off some of the intended visuals. And two, some of the visuals are things that you just have to use CGI for. You couldn't do it any other way. Besides, it's edited well enough and it's interspersed with non-digital footage so that you never have to see it for too long anyway. Put it this way, I can much more easily forgive the CGI in this movie than I can in a Hollywood movie whose budget is exponentially higher. I was very impressed with Maggie Shiu's performance, both for her acting and her willingness to do things on screen that I was totally unprepared to see. The epilogue of the film was particularly effective for me because of her acting. But it was the other half of what she did that made the biggest impression. The thing that I really took away from this movie was just how many times Maggie Shiu and Herman Yao shocked me. One of the first scenes in the film had me looking like this. And then it did it again in the next scene. Throughout the movie, there were quite a few times that I found myself recoiling in honest horror at what I saw on the screen. It didn't seem cheap or exploitative, but they were certainly horrific. The Second Coming isn't a great movie, but it's not bad, and it is memorable, really memorable, even without being Category 3. The thanks for that obviously should go to Herman Yao, who's made yet another film you're not likely to forget having seen. Obviously, I can recommend this movie, but I think it's already left the cinema, so you're gonna have to wait until it's available for rental or to buy on home video, and that's what I want you to do. When the film becomes available for purchase, we'll update the description with a link where you can buy it. If you enjoyed this review, please leave me a comment. If you didn't enjoy the review, leave me a comment. If you enjoy the channel, please subscribe because that way you'll get to see all the new videos as soon as I release them. Thank you for watching. The story written by Tin Chi. I don't know how it's pronounced.